Hello everyone, my name is Jim Compton. I'm a part-time leather worker, and today I'm going to deconstruct a Bible. But first of all, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. I started leather working about two and a half years ago, and quite enjoy it. And lately I've been taking up redoing Bibles. We are not a business. I don't operate this as a for-profit. I operate this as a ministry. I belong to a church, Freedom Church of the Palm Beaches. And the proceeds that I get from Bible rebinding goes to the church. It helps support the church, but most of all, it supports our missionaries that we have in Brazil. So if anyone has a Bible rebound by Agape Bibles, their money is not going into my pocket. It's going to the missionaries to spread the word of God. So anyway, we're going to talk about the new Thomas Nelson Open Bible that recently came out. It's a 2018 edition. This is not a review of the Bible. This is going to be a review of the construction of the Bible. There are a lot of reviews out there of the Open Bible showing the fonts and the text and the way the Bible is laid out. So we're not going to rehash all of that. We're just going to tear this Bible apart, and we're going to rebind it and show you a step-by-step of how the Bible was constructed. Now, this Bible I purchased for the full intent of tearing it apart and rebinding. I bought the Leather Soft. It's a inexpensive version of the genuine calfskin Bible that Thomas Nelson puts out. So, without further ado, let's get with it. Okay, so I have my scalpel here, and I use that to cut the cover off. I guess I didn't show you guys the spine of this Bible prior. No raised ribs on it. It's just got the gold stamping on it. And when I rebind this, I'll put five raised ribs on this one. So anyway, once I get the cover cut away, I'll be back to show you that. Okay, so what we did, we took our scalpel and carefully cut down the spine, and we were very careful not to get into the spine where our sewn bindings are. And so this is showing the paper that they've got on this cover, and you can see that they did use some mull or super. It's a kind of a cheeseclothy starch cheesecloth that bookbinders use, that they put on the spine that goes under the cover, and that holds your signature pages and the cover to the spine. And we did the same thing for the back of this Bible. So this is the cover that came with the Bible. And if you note, there is some paper cloth here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me readjust this. But we're going to remove all that, and we're going to take the glue off and strip the spine down to the bare signature pages, and then rebuild and reinforce the spine. Once we're finished, this thing is never going to come apart. So as we continue, I might also add here, the head and tail bands are very inexpensive, and we're going to put some silk head and tail bands in here and put 3 ribbons in and really dull this baby up. We've got the Bible put in a little homemade press here. But here you can see the headband and where the ribbons have been tied in. And you've got the paper backing. We're going to remove all of this. I use my little chisel here. Heat it up, which will melt the glue, and we'll clean all this spine up. So as we're starting to take the spine apart, getting down the signature page, you start to see the sewn binding. But I just wanted to show that there is quite a bit of glue in here, which I'm very impressed with. A lot of Bibles, it's just so easy just to rip this stuff off because there's just not much glue. But this has quite a bit of glue. It's very secure, so that's a big plus for this Bible. I'm impressed with that workmanship, that they've really covered this up to hold these signature pages in place. So once we get this totally stripped down, we'll be back. Okay, we got the spine pretty well cleaned up. If you notice, there are 11 sewn stitches in the spine. It's a good thing. We had to be very careful as we chiseled the old glue and support off of here so we didn't cut into any of the stitching area. It's all intact, so that was a success. What's interesting to note, on most sewn bindings from the manufacturer, they mark these signature pages. So when they set them up, they can get in this pattern to make sure that all the books are in proper sequence. So that's just a for whatever it's worth department. Now we're going to take the Bible out of the press, and I'm going to add a end page to the front and the back because the end page was part of the paste down liner, and it's just not going to give us enough width here to glue for that presentation page as I discussed earlier. So once we get the Bible out of the press, we'll work on the end pages. Okay, so I cut out end pages for the front and back, and I've glued that to the text block using Jade 403 PVA glue. It's, I think, the best bookbinding glue on the market. Very strong, it's very flexible, it will not crack, it bends, and this end paper will attach to the spine, and it should give a lot better support than just that paper end page that they used with a paper liner. So after this glues, we'll put it back in the press and continue on our journey to rebind this Bible. The end pages are dry, and if I can open this silly thing. So it's going to give a little bit more room for the presentation page, and it's a sturdier paper that will give the cover and liner better support. But before I start reinforcing the spine, I fanned out the book block and dyed the edges with a red geranium dye, and with that gold and that red geranium, it gives it more of a copper look. It stands out a lot better than just the plain gold. So that's going to give it a nice look. At any rate, we'll be back as we bind this spine up and reinforce it, getting ready for our cover. I've got my super or mole book binding material. It's a cheesecloth that's really starched, and this goes into the spine, glued, and this material binds the signature pages together, keep them from falling out. I've got my head and tail bands cut. These are silk, very nice. And cut 3 ribbons. It's kind of a mahogany color because I'm going to put I think a cardigan color cover on it with a mahogany liner. So I'll put the Bible back in the book block and glue this up. We've got the mole all glued down, have the ribbons attached, and we brought that mole down the sides onto the end page, which is going to give us support when we put our cover on. Now I'm getting ready to put the head and tail bands on. Now we've got the head and tail band glued in. So we're going to put a piece of canvas duct over the top of this. This is going to give it more reinforcement and help tie in the cover liner to the spine so it all becomes one piece. I've applied the black canvas duct to the Bible. It went over the super. It just gives added support and brought it up over the edges of the end page. So that'll be the hinge part where the cover will attach, and that will give it a nice support, and the spine and the cover becomes one piece with the book block. I have cut out the sheepskin liner. This is a vegetan. It has not been dyed. Very nice, supple. It's a beautiful skin. And I'm going to take this out to the shop and hand dye it. And I will be back and show you the finished product. I've been asked how I dye my leather. I use an airbrush. There's my little airbrush. There's a compressor. I've got it set out in my garage. It's got a vent. I've got a portable little paint booth. It's got an LED light in it that I can see. The fan just kicked on. But using an airbrush, turn that off. Using an airbrush, I can get it as dark as I want it or as light as I want it. I can control the color. I just think it makes a better project. So at any rate, that's how I dye the leather. I'm getting ready to shoot this sheepskin with a mahogany dye that I've got mixed up right here. And so anyway, once I get it
shot. I'll be back.
So I got it the color that I wanted, but I think one thing that's interesting to note, before I dyed this, the skin looked perfect, no blemishes. But after dyeing, it really brings out the rub marks. These are not scratches, these are just natural rub marks that the animal obtained through its life. And it's a reminder that there was only one person that was perfect, and that was Lord Jesus Christ. Even animals are not perfect. So I just thought I'd share that little tidbit. It's a reminder that it'll be placed in the Bible, so every time I see a scar, I just know that the animal wasn't perfect, and neither am I. I have attached the liner to the cover, and I'm going to hand stitch the perimeter with a saddle stitch. So right now I'm punching my holes using this chisel. It is a 8 SPI, 8 spaces per inch. So it'll take a while, probably a couple hours to saddle stitch this. The Bible has been put together. Have 5 raised ribs with the open Bible and NKJV stamped on the spine. This is an edge line. This is the first edge line that I've done. It was interesting. I did the perimeter stitching with a saddle stitch and 1mm braided polyester thread. It's not twisted. This is it's quality thread. Added the another end page to kind of doll it up and to hide the leather tabs. I did skive the leather. I don't like that big flat roll of leather. I like it kind of smooth, so before I attached it to the Bible, I skived that down, and it lays pretty flat in there. Stamped the gold and sheepskin, and let's see on the back. Did the same thing back here. Put Agape Bibles with a little cross on it. Corners came out pretty good. But this is my personal Bible, and I will use it. I'm very happy with the way it came out. So really the moral of the story is you can buy an inexpensive Bible if you like the text block, the print, or whatever you like about the Bible, and send it to a rebinder and they can do a rebind, and then you end up with a premium Bible that will last you a lifetime. So thanks for watching, guys. It's been an interesting experience, and I want to close saying that Thomas Nelson is really doing a nice job with their Bibles. I've done the personal reference Bible. It was inexpensive, leather soft, and I've donated a lot of those, rebound them, and then donated a lot of them to the church. And it's just, Thomas Nelson is really doing a good job. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the deconstruction of the Thomas Nelson Open Bible Leather Soft edition.